Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 80 of the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. Please check out the Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/rockandrollbeerguy. You can sign up there, become part of the fan club, and get access to exclusive content. We got a bunch of interviews from Psycho Las Vegas still to put up. I'm working on a couple of extra episodes with Punisher Patrol. You'll have access to the television show as soon as it's ready. We had exclusive merch, all kinds of stuff that I'm working on. So please check it out, patreon.com/rockandrollbeerguy. In this episode, I talked to Ben Hutcherson of the band Glacial Tomb and Khemmis. We had a really great conversation. We talk a little bit about their new album that's dropping October 26th. We talk about heavy music in general and why it is that people like he and I are attracted to it. And yeah, we talk a lot about school and education and pretty much what society should be like in our eyes. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and pick up the Glacial Tombs album when it comes out October 26th. Cheers. Hello.
Hey, bud.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm good. I was just listening to a little Skid Row.
Skid Row.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Getting my, my 80s Aquanet heavy riffs on.
80s Aquanet and tights, man.
Dude.
He's leopard.
A couple of us went to go see Sebastian Bach in Denver, 2 weeks ago or so.
Nice.
And he was awesome, but the whole thing just felt like, I don't know, like a little slimy. I don't know, and not like it felt like a lot of people were there that had their first, men and women that had their first sexual awakening to Sebastian Bach, but he hasn't aged well and they hadn't aged well, and the whole thing was just I don't know.
Yikes.
It was fun for a little while. I'll put it that way.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of like Toto shows. I don't know if you've ever been to see Toto live, but it's just a bunch of 50-something-year-old ladies trying to go for one last, hurrah at Toto. And it's a bunch of old dudes with silk shirts open with lots of gold chains. It's just super gross.
Yeah, no, I don't think I want that ever.
Ugh,
I mean, I say that. Watch, give me 15, 20 more years, and I'll turn into that.
Oh, you'll definitely be that. No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck it, I'm not waiting, man. I'm gonna go buy some silk shirts as soon as we're done talking.
Oh man, I had some of those when I was 8. I had my dad bought me some of those weird ones that look like, I don't know, old Persian carpet patterns. Yeah.
yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Oh god. And then when I got a little older, 13 or 12, at one point I definitely had one of those silk button-ups with flames and Dragon Ball characters or something, or Gundam or something. I don't know.
Oh, so like a Guy Fieri kind of shirt.
Yeah, totally. Because he's he's a role model, dude. I mean, shit.
I mean, # life goals, right, man?
Life goals, # Flavortown. Oh, man. All right, guys. So if you guys aren't aware, you are listening to the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. I'm here with Ben Hutcherson of Glacial Tombs and Khemmis. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good, man. Yeah, Glacial Tomb, singular. We're going to put all the bodies in one tomb.
Oh, like a mass grave. Got it.
Yeah.
The album comes out, October 26th? So pretty soon?
Real soon, man. Yeah, we had practice last night, and I'm really bad about keeping up with what day it is or even what time it is. And I'd said something of, "Yo, man, it's crazy that within the next month the album's out." And they looked at me and they're like, "Dude, it's in 11 days." I was like, "Oh yeah, I knew that. Whoops. I totally knew that it was the 15th. I thought it was the 4th or the 5th for some reason."
Oh, well, dude, you're a busy guy. You're traveling a lot. You got 2 bands, which is nuts to me that you have 2 active bands.
Oh, dude, it's nuts to me too. I'm not sure what I was thinking, but it's a lot of fun, so I can't really complain.
Sure. So this is a darker, heavier, faster side of you. Like, Khemmis is heavy, but it's a little, it's melodic. It's different. It's a different vibe. This is a lot more intense, a lot more. So I looked it up, and it was categorized as sludge, corrupted, blackened death. Like, really?
Yeah, that was in some review of our first EP. And, I'm always of two minds about those strangely specific genre labels. Like, on the one hand, like I feel like most of the time it doesn't really convey anything. But on the other hand, as a musician, you always want to try to have some, little niche, some slice of musical identity that's just distinctly yours. So it's like, okay, well, that sounds better than just saying it's angry and evil or whatever.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. It does add like a uniqueness to it, and it's pretty descriptive, so it helps you kind of understand what's going on.
Sure. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me do something here. There we go. All right. I had to open a beer.
I like you said, let me do something. I thought there was a technical issue, and you're like, no, I just needed to have a brew.
Yep. Technical issue. I was out of beer for the podcast. Fuck, man. But yeah, I heard a track. I heard one track. I don't know if I heard two tracks. Are there two tracks out?
Yeah, there's. We just put out the second single last week, or this week. No, it was last week. The second single is called "Drowned," and it has Sherwood Weber, the frontman for Skinless, on it as well.
Nice.
So that one just dropped a couple days ago.
Yeah, man. And so what's up, man? Why are you so angry? Why is it so heavy and dark? Is it a personal thing, or is it just we're all screwed and you're just kind of embracing the darkness that's coming?
I mean, the latter is definitely true. I think there's a sort of unending sense of things aren't getting better across the board.
Yep.
But I mean, as far as how the project got started, the thing is that a lot of people know me. Most people, I guess, if they know me as a musician, they know me from Khemmis. But Khemmis is by far the most accessible thing that I have ever played. I came up playing death metal and sludge and black metal and stuff. Khemmis was the first band I've been in that actually had clean vocals. So, we've been doing Khemmis now for 5 years, 5 or 6 years. I don't know. I don't know what year it is. Somewhere between 5 and 50 years.
You don't even know. You don't even know how when the album's coming out. I mean, it's like days.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been doing Khemmis the whole time. But also, whenever pretty much anytime I sit down with a guitar, I'm writing something, even if it's something that I wind up throwing away later. And so the whole time that I've been writing, there's still been this side of the, more angular kind of death metal, the more straightforward, well, not necessarily straightforward, but the more classically black metal kind of riffs that just wouldn't work in Khemmis. And those have just been building up over the last several years. And Mike, the drummer for Glacial Tomb, is a really buddy of mine. And a few years ago, he asked if I knew anyone that wanted to start kind of like a dark hardcore band. And I said, nope, I sure don't. And he goes, well, what about like something more extreme? And I was like, no, well, okay, I'm listening. And, he was like, well, let's just see. And the whole plan was it was never going to be a band. It was going to be the two of us. We were going to do it in the studio, release something, and that was going to be it. And we started, getting together a couple times a month and playing the music. And we're like, shit, man, this would really, it feels like it needs to be played live.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, who needs to be able to sleep or have free time? Let me just start another band.
Yeah, dude, you're insane. I don't know why. I mean, I guess because you're just, it's the love, right? The love for music and wanting to do something. And if it sounds rad, I mean, I did it for a little bit. I did it for a couple months when I was in two bands, but it was completely different duties, like I was singing in one band and playing bass in the other, and bass is just easier. And I mean, it just is, I'm not going to, and you hear bass players like, oh, it's the foundation. Sure. I get it, but it's easier. This is why we do it. But I don't see how you have time. And what do you do with the little portion of time you have left? Do you have a day job?
Oh yeah. So to be clear, I don't ever have any extra time. By starting a second band, like it literally has eaten into like time for sleep and time for like going to the gym and eating. I'm a doctoral candidate at the University of Colorado, and I teach there, and I teach at the University of Colorado Denver as well. So I'm a student. Well, a student. I'm finishing my dissertation on the Boulder campus. I teach there. I teach on the Denver campus. I teach online for a couple of community colleges. I'm a freelance music journalist. I write currently for 3 outlets, and supposedly I'm married. By which I mean,
you never see her,
right? Like I have a really incredible partner who is far more supportive than she really ought to be. But you know, I've always had this kind of thing where if I'm not so busy, I'm feeling stressed out, and then I feel like I'm not doing enough, which is a really unhealthy thing to have internalized, you know, at any point. But like I started thinking like that when I was in high school. So, you know, I'm sure that, you know, on my 40th birthday, I'm going to find out my insides are just nothing but ulcers and tumors and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, the good thing is that Glacial Tomb is active, but it's not, you know, none of us are coming at it as a full-time band. I absolutely could not do 2 full-time bands. I mean, I say that at the same time, you know, Glacial Tomb, we went out for 10 days in June. Looks like we're going to go out for another 10 or so days in January to support the new album. So for being a side project, it certainly is a pretty active one. But there's an ebb and flow to it as well. Like anytime Khemmis is doing stuff, you know, Glacial Tomb sort of backs off a little bit. And that works because Mike, the drummer, I mean, he's got a full-time gig. He works in IT at a university, and he's got a kid. The bass player, Connor, you know, he's got a full-time job and a part-time job. And he's about to get married, so you know, we find the time to do it. But also, it's whenever I need to have time for Khemmis, or every now and then to like take a vacation with my wife. Yeah. You know, it works. It works well across the board.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, getting married. If he's getting married, that's a little break you're gonna have to take, and then the conversation start of, you know, children and family and all that after marriage.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Well,
you know.
Luckily, he and his fiancée, they are not, they don't want kids. They just, you know, she came on board, you know, she actually proposed to him, which I thought was kind of kick ass. Nice. But she already knew the deal that, you know, he's a musician in addition to being all the other things that he is. And so she's, you know, she's on board. She's real supportive. So it's cool that you're right that like they'll, you know, they're going to get married. They'll take a little honeymoon, all that stuff. But it's not like, oh, here, you know, everything's about to change now. It's like, no.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And going back to, you said you're teaching. So what are you teaching music, just guitar and stuff, or?
No, I teach sociology to college students. So I teach generally an upper division sort of theory-heavy social psychology class, and then a couple of lower division classes, either face-to-face or online. You know, like introduction to sociology, social problems, the sort of like survey kind of classes. Because I'm a glutton for punishment, and teachers don't make any money, so I have to teach a lot to make ends meet.
For sure, man. It's a bummer that that's the case, that teachers don't make money. That's why we are in a nation full of dummies right now, you know?
Oh yeah. It's because I have had to teach so much in order to just, you know, like pay the bills and everything while I'm trying to write a dissertation, which is essentially a book. It has burned me out. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff, you know, behind the scenes for how grad school works, but it has just burned me out on teaching and being part of it. So, you know, I've been teaching for 10 years now, and as soon as I finish the PhD, I mean, unless something changes, unless some university comes along and offers me some amount of money that nobody ever gets offered to teach, I'm done, man. I'm going to play music, and I'll go bartend or sell my underwear on eBay. I don't know. There's got to be a way to make money.
Bartending is a good way to make money when you have a sociology major.
Yeah, right? Well, I always used to joke that I would, as soon as I was done, I would go deliver pizzas and start my own pizza delivery company, you know, Dr. Ben's Famous Pizza. But increasingly, I'm like, shit, I could make more money delivering pizza than I can being a professor. Yeah,
it's sad, man. And I mean, there is definitely a lot of options right now for people to make money. Like I was very grateful that, you know, when shit started getting weird money wise, I was able to do a bunch of different little things, and that's never been the case in my life. You know, like when I was in my early 20s, like I needed a job 9 to 5, I needed a little bit of stability, but then with all these new things, like you got the Uber and the scooter things that you could charge. I don't know, does Denver have those scooters like the Birds and the Limes and stuff?
They've just started. Well, I say they've just started. I've just started recently noticing them. They may have been around in sort of like the downtown area for a little while longer, but in the parts of Denver that I hang out in the last couple months, I've seen them more and more.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to start talking about that shit, but going back to the back to the school thing, like I'm really
no. Let's talk about being poor, Eddie. It's all about being poor. That's where the anger for Glacial Tomb comes from.
Is it that it's not the fact that we're gonna destroy ourselves as a planet?
Oh no, it has nothing to do with being poor. I mean, dude, I'm from Mississippi. I lived in a trailer for a significant portion of my childhood. Being poor is nothing new. It's not particularly stressful to me. Well, I mean, it's always stressful to be poor. Don't misunderstand me, but I'm used to it. But it is definitely, everything around us, like watching the world burn in a way that, like, at least I kind of expected would eventually happen. But I also expected I'd be dead or dying before it really started to take off. And now I'm increasingly worried. You know that scene in Terminator 2 where Linda Hamilton. It has the sort of nightmare fever dream of the apocalypse, and she's watching the kids on the playground, and she gets charred against the fence. That's what I'm increasingly concerned is going to happen any day.
Yeah, hanging onto a chain link. Ah!
Yeah, but it's going to be something dumb for me. I'm going to be like on the commode when it drops, and they're just going to find a skeleton that was mid taking a crap.
Oh yeah,
and that's how the aliens that find our remains. They're going to be like, oh, turns out he was a professor, but he was killed while pooping, so not a good professor.
No, yeah, it'll be the new cave people that are like half mutated from the nuclear waste, and like they can't really speak well, and then we'll just start all over. That's just what's gonna happen. We're just gonna.
I mean, I don't think we could get it worse than we did this time around. So
yeah, dude. I mean, it's nuts. I try to avoid most of what I like. As I scroll through Facebook, I really can't deal with a lot of what's going on. I don't know what's going on with a lot of it. I don't watch the news because it's all fucking propaganda anyway. So I don't put it on. I see shit like, can you believe I don't know details about this whole Kavanaugh thing? Like I know the name. I know he has something to do with politics.
Oh God, I do. I don't want to think about it. It'll give me another ulcer.
Right, but there's the thing. So like I really can't physically deal with it anymore. I got really like when shit started getting dark, like work-wise and all this stuff, like people are hitting me up like, oh my God, did you see what this guy said? I'm like, not really, dude. I'm kind of worried about paying rent and like not dying tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at, you know?
Yeah, it's this sort of like, there's this idea of like crisis fatigue. So essentially that, you know, there's one fucked up thing after another that happens. And after a certain point, like we can only handle so much emotionally and, you know, psychologically before we start to feel kind of numb to it. And it takes a toll. I mean, as a social scientist, I keep up with current events well enough, but there's a lot of research about what even just regular exposure to social media does to your body. Like the increased stress levels and, you know, in addition to just it fucks up your productivity, it's hard to get your job done if you're constantly worried that we're all going to die and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But after a certain point, it starts to take a toll on your body. It takes a toll on your relationships. So, like, I really had to find that balance of, like, I feel like as a teacher and also as a musician, this is less so a thing for Khemmis, but for Glacial Tomb, we're not an overtly political band. I mean, we have done overtly political things. You know, when we covered Fuck Nazi Sympathy, that was a pretty straightforward political statement. But at the same time, I try to maintain, you know, a level of awareness. But it's hard to strike that balance because it doesn't take you know, more than a few minutes at a time of watching the news or listening to it on the radio. You start to feel kind of physically ill. You feel like the tension in your shoulders and your neck. You get headaches and shit. And you know, and that's no way to be. Like I said, if I don't have any free time, the last thing I want to do is the few minutes a day that I have to do stuff, or I'm sitting down to have dinner with my partner. If I'm a fucking ball of pissed off stress, that's no good. That's a real fast track to a divorce attorney, you know?
For sure, man. And I've been suffering a little bit from that, dude. That's kind of why I tuned out completely from all the news and all the things, because I started lashing out at home, and
Sure.
for no good reason. Just like, why is this fucking shoe here?
Yeah.
Like something real dumb. So I had to disconnect from all that and kind of, I'm not going to be any good to anyone if I can't even help myself and get myself out of this situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think people often forget the importance of putting yourself first to an extent. Like you're only as useful to the people around you as a friend, a partner, a whatever, an employee or an employer, as you are capable of just getting out of bed and, getting dressed and operating every day. And if you can't do that, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't do shit for anybody else. For
sure, man. And you know what? It's not just the negativity. It's also the that whole concept of likes on Instagram and likes on Facebook are releasing endorphins in your brain and making you extremely happy. So we're just oversensitized. We have too much shit going around us at all times. In our pocket, we have an argument about racism. Right now, that's happening in our pocket.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to break it down and look brutal, at it
man.
Kind of like that. And sometimes you see people they wake up and the first thing they do is just grab their phone. Oh my God, did I get any likes? I do it too for the podcast. I'll be like, oh shit, did anyone give a fuck about this podcast I put out? And and then I realize who cares? I don't care. Yeah. I'm having fun. Let's do it. But
it's definitely. I feel you on that, brother. It's the same kind of thing with band stuff, right? I do all the social media for both bands, and I try to just. I know that it needs to happen. I need to put things out. You keep your fans updated, but I try to only look at it when I'm posting something on it. Unless I'm on my personal Instagram, in which case I'm mostly just looking at pictures of dogs or pigs or adorable animals. That's my Xanax to make it through the world. Is just I follow 50 different accounts of where they write they're the dog or the pig on Instagram, and it's kind of silly, but it beats the shit out of seeing your crazy racist uncle going on another diatribe about immigration or anything like that.
Yeah, man. And going back to kind of the dark subject matter of the music that you're doing now, it seems like I was talking about this with someone else the other day. I forget who it was, but it seems like it's growing. The dark bands, I just see more of it. Behemoth is bigger than it's been, and you look at this new band that I saw called Sleep Token. They're just covered in black paint, and they just it's very dark imagery. Right. You're looking at Cult Leader, Oathbreaker, stuff like that. Shit seems to be getting darker, and I don't know if it's just. Are we manifesting this to make us more productive artistically? And is it a direct reflection of something that's coming and we're just kind of channeling it through the music?
I think, shit, man.
Sorry, too deep? Sorry.
Here's what I'll say. I think the only way to know if it's the second thing is when we get a little bit further along, was it some sort of musical premonition? But I think there's something too about all right, so this first part's going to sound kind of obvious. We're all getting older.
Sure.
But as we get older and we are listening to music and you've got 15, 20, 30 years of musical taste sort of built up inside you that has come to shape what you want to listen to and what you seek out, that has an interaction with the environment around you, your social environment. So, when things get more fucked up, for a lot of people, it feels more cathartic and is more reassuring to hear music that is trying to either deal with or make sense of whatever it is that's fucked up, and we find that reassuring. And that's not true for everyone. Some people want pure escapism. They want something that's happier or detached, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think for folks like you and me, we wind up selecting into that darker music. I mean, I've always listened to real dark, fucked up stuff. I do feel like now a lot of it feels like it resonates more, not even necessarily with me, but just in a broader sense, that it feels like it is trying to speak to something. But I think that's also part of what's going on. I think a lot of people feel more, if not politically engaged, sociopolitically aware. They see that things are fucked up. And you know, it's worth pointing out that things feel particularly fucked up to me right now, but I'm a straight white dude. So like I've had the privilege of not always being exposed to just how fucked up everything tends to be.
Right.
And I'm sure for a lot of people, you know, who don't look like me, whose identities are very different from mine, not to say that it doesn't feel fucked up now, but I know a lot of my friends of color are like, I don't know, man, like it's been kind of fucked up and scary for a while for me. So I'm glad it's scary to you now too. So, you know,
that's true.
And same for, you know, like my, you know, any of my gay or trans friends, they're like, yeah, you know, we've been afraid for our lives every day for years or for our entire lives. So welcome to the struggle. Welcome to existential fear. I'm like, well, okay, you're right. I do kind of feel like an ass for complaining now.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I just feel like I haven't been discriminated as much as many other folks have. I have gotten some shit. I mean, the day after the election, no joke, this sounds fake. This is not fake. I was walking on Hermosa Beach here in the South Bay in South California, which is a very heavy, like, Republican. Like, you'll see during the campaign, there was a lot of giant Trump banners, you know, in this neighborhood. So I'm walking down the street because I was selling beer, and I'm crossing the street, and some fucking car buzzes by me, and just some dude just yells out, "Fucking fat Mexican!" I'm like, what?
Oh, Jesus, dude. Damn, man.
Like, first of all, I'm not Mexican, man. God damn it. I was born in Jersey. Leave me alone.
Like, if you're going to be mean to me, at least be mean to me because I'm from Jersey.
Yeah, make fun of Jersey. God. But no, it sucks, man. And
yeah, man.
It's a thing, and it seems, I don't know, dude, just the chaos of it is just getting wilder and wild. It feels like I'm on an acid trip, dude. I look and I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. Kanye West is in the White House wearing the hat.
Yeah, I know. Like,
am I tripping?
Sometimes dude, I have for shit. So I'm gonna make this even darker, as though we needed that.
Yes.
So first week in November in 2016, my dad died, and it was fairly sudden from complications from a surgery. And so, like, it fucked me up. Loss of a loved one will fuck you up. But I went into this, what I didn't know for a long time until I started going to therapy, that I entered in what's called a fugue state. So, like, I kept doing things, but I don't have any memory from it. And, like, there's just, like, I see pictures of me doing things or videos of Khemmis playing or touring, and I'm like, I mean, that seems like a thing that happened, but I don't remember it. And then as I like started to come out of it, and I can sort of trace where the memory starts to kick back in. Like, I struggled for a while with what sounds like, you know, borderline tinfoil hat thinking, where I was like, shit, did something happen? Like, did I die? Did I go through like a portal or something? Like, what the fuck is this world? Because it didn't necessarily make sense before, but like everything feels, you know, right is left, up is down. Like, what the fuck is happening? And that feeling has subsided quite a bit, but still sometimes, yeah, like the Kanye thing, like I see that shit happening, and I'm just like, I guess I have to accept that this is reality. But what the fuck is going on, man? Mm-hmm. It has definitely fueled my general misanthropy in a way that just, like, being a sociologist tends to coincide with being acutely aware of injustice, which in turn tends to coincide with depression.
Yeah. And
like, okay, so you, like, it can be depressing to know how the world works, but then to see the world just like accelerating, you know, down the drain, and it's just like, fuck this, fuck everything, fuck humans, fuck existence. And then you know, you get a lot of lyrics for Glacial Tomb out of that. For sure, man. For sure. And it's something, it's an existential dread, for sure. It definitely is, yeah. You know, and I, like, for example, I really delve into that as well, not to kind of like, you know, just to kind of compound on top of your story. When I had my accident that I, you know, technically, according to the cops, died, like, you know, that completely changed my life, obviously, for obvious reasons. But sure. But on top of that, it was kind of, I've always had that state that you were talking about, that fugue state of like, I don't know if I'm really here. Yeah.
I don't because it gets increasingly crazier around me. Politics and society and everything like that. But on top of that, like my life starts getting crazier where I'm playing around with things like, I wonder if I'll be able to do this. And then it happens. Or,
Yeah.
hey, I'd really love to see this concert. And then like 2 weeks later, it gets announced. And I've done that for years, like where I'll predict things like that. Like, oh, what would be awesome? Death Clock and Mastodon. And like 2 weeks later, boom, they're on tour. And then like, or, I wanted to see Oathbreaker real bad because I fucking fell in love with the album when it came out. And I'm talking to you guys and then boom, you guys are bringing them, you guys are on tour with them. I'm like, what? And I continually, shit like that happens. Or with the podcast, for example. Like, hey, I want to do a podcast. I want to talk to this person. Boom, done. There it is. Like, and I get it. If you do it and the willpower, yeah, that's fine. I get it. But but also when it continually happens like that and it's so chaotic and crazy, it really does make me question things. Like,
so are you telling us that you're a wizard, Eddie?
I'm a wizard, Harry.
I mean, if that's the case, dude, you should start really getting it in your head that you want to see Metallica take Khemmis out on tour. Just really think about it. Just focus on that. Let's see if we make that happen.
I'm gonna do it. That would be sick as fuck, though, man. You know what's funny? Every band that we interviewed at Psycho, every single band, that was kind of the response. Like, hey, if you had one band that you can go on tour with, everyone was like, yeah, Metallica.
Dude, fuck yeah. That has come up a lot for us in this album cycle, and there were a number of like European journalists who were just sort of surprised. They're like, of all the bands, and like, dude, you understand it's fucking Metallica. And I don't know if it's being an American metalhead versus a European metalhead, or if maybe just these journalists, never forgave Metallica for Load and Reload. Dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, I will be a Metallica fanboy until the day I die, unless they do something really fucked up, like they burn down an orphanage or something like that.
Sure.
And even then, I don't know. Like, I love Metallica,
Yeah.
Like, so
I've been in a state of mind with Metallica that like I would love to see them live, but I think they should really just call it on the albums, just tour. Just
sure,
tour.
Yeah.
Just play the old tunes. We're good. We don't need no new Metallica. There's how many albums? 20, whatever. We have enough. Like, just play them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were plenty of people that would be happy if they only played stuff off the first 4 albums for the rest of all eternity. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh man, but I warned people when the elections happened and shit. Everybody was freaking out. There was a lot of chaos, and people were like, "Oh man, things are going to be real bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, let's try and look at the silver lining." I think that this has generated some really great music from a lot of people, because that's what happens. When that's what happened in the 70s after the whole Nixon thing. Like just great music. Because that kind of shit, it makes people mad. It makes people creative. And it's really weird how, I guess maybe it's just a personal thing because I enjoy it, but I enjoy the pain and the feeling of loss and all of that's portrayed through this darker music.
Sure.
I don't know what it is. Ever since I was young, and I've always asked people that, like, hey, what inspired you? Like, why were you into death metal when you were a kid before you started Glacial Tomb? Like, what is it that drew you into that world? Was it loss? Was it broken, family situations?
So honestly, like, I found extreme metal. I mean, I was very fortunate to have a very, considering the fact that I was living in Mississippi and living in a trailer and stuff, like a really healthy, happy childhood. Like, I had 2 parents that loved the shit out of me, that raised me, and encouraged me, and not just encouraged me, pushed me to always, whatever I was going to do it to the best of my ability. Don't ever fuck around, and they support. I mean, they bought me my first electric guitar. They didn't even bat an eye when I was like, I want to play heavy metal. They're like, fucking whatever, you do it. You're also going to go to school and you're going to, yeah, don't assume that's going to work out for you. But I mean, part of it is, and I think this works for a lot of people, and then maybe it changes as they get older, but there's that sort of like adolescent sense of alienation that I grew up in a small town. Like I think the population was like 4,000 when I left to go to college.
Jeez.
And I mean, it's the kind of small bullshit town where everyone knows everyone, and it was in a dry county, so there was never booze. I mean, there was booze, people's parents drank, but it was just this. It always felt backwards and disconnected, and I didn't really know. I didn't know there was anything else, because you're a kid. And then I was about 17 years old, and like a friend of a friend called my house and was like, "Oh, there's this tour that's coming to Memphis," and I had a driver's license, and my parents would let me like borrow a car on the weekends, and they're like, "Yeah," this guy's like, "You got to go see these bands," and it was I think 2002 Relapse Contamination tour. So it was Mastodon, Cephalic Carnage, Soylent Green, and Dysrhythmia. I'd never heard those bands. Like, we had just gotten the internet at this point. Everyone else had been online. Like, we had AOL, and I thought that shit was amazing. And I remember before I went up there, I went to mp3.com and listened to Mastodon. I was like, what the fuck is this? So I go to the show, and it just blows me away because, I mean, like, I'd heard Slayer, and I loved Slayer, but, like, I didn't know there was this other, I didn't know what the underground was. I didn't know, I didn't know anything at that point.
Sure.
And I was in this room, and of course, the older I've gotten, the more I'm sure rosy the lenses through which I see these memories. But I just remember seeing people around me and being like, fuck, all these people are not like the people in my hometown. And I don't really understand what any of this music is right now when all my reference points are like Pantera, Slayer, and Metallica. But there's something going on here. It was the first time I'd ever seen anyone play a blast beat live. And it was just this real intense sense of I was hearing music that felt right, and even if I didn't necessarily understand it musically at the time, like, it still made more sense to me than most other music. But then there was this community aspect where, it was like, okay, even then I knew not everyone in that room was going to be my best friend, but there are people like me out there. There are people that feel, different from the city or the world around them. They feel angry at times. They feel, alone. And just knowing that has always been part of what drew me to the underground broadly. Now, when it comes to certain kinds of stuff, like when I listen to like guttural slam death metal or anything, I'm not really thinking about feelings. I'm not really thinking about community. I'm just like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym, fucking lift weights, yeah. But the older I've gotten, the more I've found those feelings continue with certain kinds of music in a number of different styles, but especially with stuff like Neurosis and Yob are two of my favorite bands of all time, and those bands are forever tied up in feelings of community and in just like appreciation of the moment, wherever you are, in a physical place, in an emotional place, just like sitting in that moment and owning it and letting it happen and finding something worth finding in it, even if it's super fleeting and everything else is fucked up and on fire. And so this is a roundabout way to answer your question, which is to say that, why was I drawn to it? Because there was something that was missing for me in my life, in art, in my friend circles, and in my own, at that point, sort of early stages of trying to be a creative person and make something in the world. And heavy metal broadly, but especially underground metal of all sorts, really, that like I saw the doorway for the first time, and I knew that like there was a place where it would all start to make more sense, and there was some part of me that I could continue to grow and explore through, growling and screaming and beating the shit out of a flying V.
That makes sense to me. It makes sense because the way I see the world is very strange. I obviously believe that there's more things out there than what we are experiencing.
Sure.
But I feel that what we are experiencing right now, our life now, functions under certain laws, like, gravity and physics, all that shit, but also duality. Everything needs to have a beginning and an end. Everything is black and white. And then there's obviously the stuff in between, but there's always the two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And the only way to be happy and is to find that balance between both of those things. And you grew up in a very like you said, you had a good life, basically. You had a good upbringing. So the thing that was missing was that darkness, that rage, whatever it may be, that other aspect, like the other side of the spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you were able to discover it and balance it out, like that's what brings you peace. That's what you're doing what you're doing.
Sure. And at the same time, the last couple of years have been pretty hard, for me for a number of reasons. Lots and lots of loss, unfortunately. And so,
it comes with getting older, man. Like we start losing people.
God damn, you're fucking right, man. It's shit. Fucking, it started happening. My wife joked the other day and then immediately felt bad that she made the joke. She said, I think you're cursed. Every 18 months, someone you love dies. Jesus. And then she was like, "Oh shit! I thought that was gonna be funnier when I said it. It wasn't funny." And I looked at her and I was like trying not to laugh, and I was like, "I wonder who's next." And she was like, "Oh fuck you!" And we started laughing. But yeah, so like having the last couple of years be just fucking hard, and with loss, and then also like I said it in a sort of a blasé kind of way, but the idea of not teaching for the rest of my life, like that's what I was gonna do. I was on board with that, and it made sense to me for a while. And then, the thing that I've been training to do since I was arguably 18 years old, like having that get so twisted around and poisoned that it's unfathomable to continue doing that. Like, I know that if I kept teaching for the rest of my life, I would die before I'm supposed to die. Let's put it mildly.
Sure.
And so, all of this stuff, all this sort of like the existential dread, not only from the political world around us, but also just like, what the fuck are we doing? What am I doing? How do I make sense of the day or the week or, some notion of contributing to humanity? Metal has not only provided a way for me to feel like I'm doing that, to create art that makes sense to me, but also, and I'm very fortunate in this respect, that seems to speak to other people as well. But it's kept me afloat, man. Those times when things are dark and like you're just struggling to keep your head above water, like regardless of the kind of metal, 95 times out of 100, it's heavy music of some sort that I want to hear. And that helps me, sort of find a little bit of peace in that moment, and also just reminds me that, you're not alone. I don't want to say that I'm not alone, but that's it though, right? It's like,
it is that.
There are other people that the circumstances may be different, but their shit's fucked up too, and they're still able to put one foot in front of the other, and goddamn, I can do that too.
For sure, man. And I was having that conversation with my buddy Wes this past weekend because we all the homies came in for the Caleb memorial.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like, what an emotional roller coaster, dude. And like you were saying earlier about letting yourself be in that moment. Like I fucking, that night, Saturday night, it was just tears nonstop. Like everyone, and it was happy tears and sad tears, but mostly happy tears. Like,
sure,
dude,
yeah.
There's a homie from out of town. Let's hug and sing this fucking, song from ISIS that we haven't been able to hear live in 10 years because everybody got together, Shit like that. And like, oh my God, look, there's our homies on stage singing fucking cave-in songs with like Caleb's brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it was an emotional night, but we spent the night just talking and hugging and people, talking, and we, everyone's hurting, and it was nice to heal together, I guess. If that makes any sense.
Well, and also to be hurt together, right? Because it can feel insurmountable when you're experiencing loss by yourself, because it just feels like everything else is sort of dropping away around you. But when you see other people that are experiencing that same hurt, lots of people who knew and loved Caleb or even just loved his music that are, to varying extents and for various reasons, they're hurt. Like that's some part of them that's gone. But being around other people in that moment, I think lets you, even if not necessarily heal, like just grow and keep going in a way that it's hard, if not impossible, to do all by yourself.
For sure, man. And then you people question when you see the wave of suicides that we had this year, maybe last year. I don't even know. Time doesn't matter anymore. But like the recent kind of surge of celebrity suicides and other kinds of suicides. People are like, oh, why? He had such a great life. It's like, yeah, but maybe he was alone in that room all night crying. You know what I mean? Like nobody when you get to a certain level of status, like a Chris Cornell or something, like you're probably alone most of the time. You don't have that giant party with you at all times.
Absolutely, man. I was listening to Mark Maron interview Slash the other day, and Slash was saying that once Appetite really blew up, it changed. He's like, my life changed in a lot of ways that were cool because I had money and I could do things. But he was like, suddenly I felt so isolated and alone because I couldn't go to the bars I used to go to. I couldn't go walk down the street. My life had changed in such a way that like everyone saw me as someone else other than who I was, and it was incredibly isolating. He said that's part of why he wound up, getting into heroin, was he was by himself so much, with his dark thoughts, no one to like talk to or be around, but also to maybe suggest don't do heroin. And next thing you know, he's shooting smack, and he's I don't remember how many times he said he wound up technically dying, and he had just like come to accept that. Just so that sort of isolating nature of fame or recognition. And I think that, it happens in heavy metal, of course. Mm-hmm. But I think that in a lot of heavy metal, one of the things that's really cool is because we all, for lack of a better term, are misfits, there's a kind of community around a lot of heavy music that I don't think necessarily exists for all other kinds of music in the same sort of way. And whenever I think about why I love heavy music, or I'm writing a doctoral dissertation on this shit. And nice. Why do any of that? And it's not just because I think it matters to me, but I think there's a story about why it matters to people. Like, it gives a lot of people a reason to keep going, to get out of bed, even on good days, a reason to keep going, much less on days when everything feels so overwhelming. You're just like, fuck it, I don't want this anymore, I can't do it. But sometimes you just put on that record, or you listen to that clip of that one song, and you're like, no, I can do this. I can whether or not it's going to be any fun, I can make it through another day. I can get up tomorrow and do this shit again.
For sure, man. And it happens to me with concerts. Like, I have days where shit's rough, man, and I'm like, oh man, there's a concert tonight, and I've vowed to tell myself that I'm gonna go to these shows no matter what.
Right.
Even if I'm miserable, I need to make myself go to this show because I know I'm gonna have a good time there. It's gonna fix everything.
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, you were saying, like, you see your homies, and like it's so easy to forget how good it feels to just be around people that make you smile.
Yeah.
And then you're hanging out, you're drinking a beer, you're doing a shot, or for people that are sober, you're just drinking fucking water. Yeah. And then that riff from whatever. Like, I think about you saying that made me think that like 4 or so years ago, I guess, Yob came through Denver, and they played High Dive, which is a small place. It's my favorite club in North America. And I'm not just saying that because my friends own it. Like, that's like Khemmis plays there. That's where we have done all our album release shows. It rules. It's like a 200. Oh yeah. So like it's like a 220, 250 cap room.
Yeah.
And it fucking sold out, well in advance. There was a line outside, people trying to like buy tickets off other people coming in. It was crazy.
Nice.
We're in there, but the cool thing was that even though there were a lot of people, well, a relatively large amount of people there, like most of the people knew most of the people. And it was, that was the show that your friends in bands that are like, oh, money's tight or whatever, they saved up the fucking $20 for that show. And, so all the Khemmis dudes there, all the bands around town are there. I was over there talking to Ethan McCarthy from Primitive Man, and I get a tap on my shoulder, I turn around, and it's Mike Scheidt. He's like, hey, brother, it's so good to see you. And, like, stuff had been real shitty up until that point. That day I remember how fucking awful that day was. It was just a shit day. And you see all your friends, and then you get to see your buddy who's about to get up there and play those riffs. Because, when Mike plays those riffs, you fucking feel them, man.
For sure,
and so all of it, I have to have those kind of shows periodically to, sort of counteract the desire to just not leave the house, to just, like, draw the blinds and just be a hermit. But you're absolutely right, man, that, like, it's when you get out and you see the people that just get it, that see the world more or less the way you do and experience this music the way you do. Man, that's where it's fucking at, man. That's the magic.
for sure, dude. I think that's why I love Psycho so much. I mean, it's a little bit much, but, but it's great, dude. Just hanging out,
dude. It is,
and you're all locked up together in there for like 3 days. So
I like the way you put that, locked up. It does kind of feel like they put us all in the loony bin for 72 hours, right?
Yeah, it's not like a high security, maximum security prison or anything. It's just we can get out, and some people I like to get out at least and hit the strip a little bit, but for the most part, you're in that hotel.
Oh, dude, I didn't leave the fucking grounds this year. Well, no, I went to Walgreens twice to get some water, to get like a couple of cases.
Yeah, so it's not like $10 a bottle in your hotel room. Yeah,
exactly, right. But you're right. It's the same thing there in even more so where you see in people, well, sort of like you were saying at the Caleb show, you're seeing friends that you don't necessarily get to see all the time. They're from the other side of the country, or I know people came in from outside of the country just for that show. Yeah. And so, you get to see that. It's like the family reunion that you actually want to go to.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's I like that. That's a good way to put it, for sure. I wrote down here because lately I've been thinking a lot and watching a lot of things that are related to artificial intelligence kind of taking over at some point in some ways. Like I played this video game called Detroit. I just saw Ex Machina for the first time, which was pretty great. But I wanted to ask your thoughts on do you see us going in that direction where there are going to be intelligent machines around us?
Intelligent.
I have a follow-up that's related to music, by the way, so just so you know.
Okay, yeah. Well, no, I'm glad you're asking this. So as an aside, I'm teaching this class this semester called Self and Consciousness, which is a sort of interdisciplinary class. It's sociology, it's social psychology, it's neuroscience, and a little bit of philosophy. So I've actually had my students read some pieces that argued about the potential for true artificial intelligence. And the short answer is, in theory, I guess it's possible, but the ability for machines to operate the way that humans do requires a degree, as I understand it, a degree of quantum computing that we're not capable of creating, and some argue that we won't be capable of creating, and others argue that it's still a long ways off. So I think we'll have, or we already have some weird robots, people have weird sex robots and stuff, but I don't, and by weird I mean it's not my thing, but hey, if you want to stick your parts on a robot, I guess go for it. Right. But I'm not particularly worried about robots taking over. I mean, also if they did, fuck it, that's fine. As long as they're nice about taking over and killing us all, and they're not just walking around beating us to death with clubs, that's fine. I can get down with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's totally possible. Just because I've already seen what we're doing. There's shit that my computer is doing and my phone is doing, auto scheduling things, and I'm writing emails now and it's filling it out for me as I'm typing. It's just getting better and better at stuff like that, and not to mention all the target marketing ads that you get just for saying specific words by your phone. You can, I love this pumpkin beer, and then all of a sudden there's an ad for a pumpkin beer. You know what I mean? So with that, where we're at now, for sure we're going to have some kind of AI nonsense. And the reason I was asking is I feel like that's going to bring a death to creativity that's really scary. I think that's going to hurt music as we get to the point where, hey, I built a robot that can play the most insane guitar riff in the world and it sounds natural. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So
here's the thing about that though. Yes, you can do that. We can already do that. In fact, there's a grindcore-ish band called Attacked by Robots or something, where it's literally that. It's robots playing the music. This guy has created and programmed. But the thing is, without a degree of quantum processing that allows machines to actually do things outside of what they are programmed, as it is, machines are only as smart as the people that program them. They can't evolve. That's where the quantum anything comes in. I sound like someone from that movie Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm just saying quantum in front of whatever. Well, quantum machines and quantum beer and quantum heavy metal. But so yeah, like you could make a robot that could play a Van Halen solo, and you might not be able to tell it's not Van Halen. But I'm not worried about that because I'm not the greatest guitar player that's ever lived by any stretch of the imagination, but I've managed to find a way to express myself and create. And that's the thing that has, earned me some modicum of recognition and allows me to like pay a little bit of my bills from playing heavy metal. It's not because I fuck, dude, there's, a million guitar players that can shred harder than I can. Or if you want to even get outside of heavy metal, like we could have made a robot a long time ago that could play every B.B. King solo, but B.B. King's solos were, so timeless and so legendary because he created them. He wasn't playing someone else's licks. Those were his licks. You could sort of hear his, feelings and his experiences through his guitar playing. And so we can make a robot that can do anything that a human can already do and can possibly do it better, but I'm not worried about any time in the foreseeable future we create a robot that can create in the way that a human can. I'm not worried about a robot that can play the piano. I bet a robot can play the piano better than Tom Waits, but I'll be goddamned if you're going to give me a robot that can write a song that fucks me up like Tom Waits or Nick Cave or anyone like that. Right. Because it's the creativity and it's the extension of their experiences that sort of shapes how we experience that music. Now that said, I'm still terrified of robots doing a lot of things. All it takes is someone deciding that robots are really effective at dropping bombs, and then we're all fucked. But at the same time, they're are they doing this in California where they have the self-driving lifts and Ubers?
They are.
And stuff?
They're doing them up in like Silicon Valley, like San Francisco.
Dude, bring it on! I'm all about it. People can't fucking drive. People are texting and shit. Give me robots driving cars. Give me robots that are dispensing my medication instead of a doctor who's writing something and then the pharmacist can't read his handwriting. Like, I'm all about it within reason, as long as we're paying attention to what we're doing.
For sure, man. I mean, I'm all about taking my brain out of my body and putting it onto a robot. I'm all about that. I really don't care about my bones. They are.
Oh yeah, dude, bones are overrated.
Oh my god. There's a lot of hardcore music that I grew up listening to that like talks about how like their passions in their bones. It's like, I guess.
My passion's in my brain. That's where all the good stuff is. Fuck the rest of it.
Yeah, man. I've done too much stage diving. My body's a mess. There's so many broken things. Get me a new robot body. I'm all about it. I'll upload my brain to a computer. Whatever you need, man.
Dude, and then we don't have to go to the gym ever again. Like, we just have a strong robot body? Hell yes.
Yeah, dude. You know how much time we waste in the gym? Come on. Productivity would go up. We don't really need we don't need to eat. We just plug in. If we want to eat, we can. That's one thing I'd make sure. I'd make sure that there is a digestive system in there. Yeah. Just so that I can eat if I want to. That's always been a thing of mine. Like, I hate hunger. I wish.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wish I didn't have to eat, because there's times where I'm like, I'm just starving. But if I want to go enjoy a nice dish from a fucking 5-star chef or whatever, I can go do that and enjoy it. I like that. But I wish I wasn't. I wish I wasn't hungry. I wish.
It always happens like right in the middle of doing something. You're like editing something. You're writing something. You're like, shit, and you're just trying to like scarf things down, which is just, it's like the opposite of what every culinary class has been taught. Focuses on. It's like, there's the experience. Fuck that, dude. I'm just shoving sandwich meat and cheese and Triscuits down my throat until my stomach stops hurting.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It happens to me all the time. I'll be editing a podcast and I don't stop until it's too late. Like my eyes are blurry and my head hurts. And I'm just like, why do I feel like shit? And it's like, oh wait, I haven't eaten in 14 hours. I get it. All right, and I gotta go eat a banana with some peanut butter or something to fucking, keep the. I'm trying to eat healthier. As I'm getting older, it's become such an important thing. Like, I grew up eating garbage, Taco Bell, and drinking King Cobras on the road, and like, that's what you do in your 20s. We were on tour, and it's like, I've got $5. That'll buy me a 40, and maybe a burrito from like the gas station. We're good.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember those days. Yeah. I think there is something to be said. There's a lot of reasons to complain about getting older, but like, I, you know, throughout my 20s, I tried eating better. I tried going to the gym. I tried taking, and it just never stuck. And then in my 30s, it's just like, oh, I can't do this other stuff anymore. I can't drink like that. I can't party like that. If I eat Taco Bell, I mean, I'm violently ill for like 2 days. So at least my body is forcing me to take better care of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I'd just like you were saying your classes are in college. Your class should be in fucking elementary school, along with diet and food classes that teach people how to eat properly. Because, I mean, I grew up and I didn't know shit. Nobody told me that Taco Bell is garbage. Nobody told me that fucking Twinkies are not a good thing to be eating until I was old. And then when I'm old, it's like, oh shit, it's too late. I already ate boxes of this. Like, what?
It's hard to learn how to cook when you have never really fucked with. Like, one of the many things I'm grateful for is having a partner who she loves to cook. She's very good at it. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'll do the dishes. You know, I can take care of that. I understand how that works. But like the idea of trying to learn not just like how to cook, but how to cook in a healthy way, how like what ingredients work together that are tasty, but also won't give me high blood pressure, you know, all that kind of stuff. Man, you know, by the time you're 35, you don't know that. I feel like you better have a partner or a best friend or someone that already knows that shit, because otherwise you're out of luck.
Yeah, man. No one's teaching you this, and no one's teaching. And like I mentioned, like it should be a thing from youth and social. Like you were saying.
Sociology should absolutely be taught, you know, in elementary and middle school. I mean, just basic level stuff like how things work. Because by the time kids are 18, you know, they're all snot nosed and they think they know everything. They come in, they don't know shit. So I have to like crack through the shell that their parents have built around them, where they, you know. Thankfully, it's not as bad with the classes I teach in Colorado. When I was teaching in Mississippi, I mean, you had to crack through that shell of racism and sexism and homophobia.
Oh, yeah, it's all there.
And it's like, by the time you get through that shell, the semester's over. So, like, maybe a few things stuck. But fuck, man. Like, if they would have heard, you know, this stuff, if they would have understood the social construction of race and gender when they were 12 years old, I also bet a lot of them that have, you know, deeply hidden you know, sexual identities that they're terrified to ever address, they might actually like themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, man. My little brother was like that. I mean, my little brother started gaining a lot of weight, and he got bigger than me, dude. Like and I'm a big dude, and he was maybe double my size.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like, you know, always crying and all this, you know, and I finally one day I had to talk with him. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Are you not happy? And like, you know, we finally got it out of him that he was gay. And, you know, once he accepted it and we were like, hey, it's fine. Like, no one's angry at you. Like, just live life. He dropped all of the weight.
Oh, that's so great to hear, man. That's awesome.
Dude, it was insane. He dropped like 100 pounds. It was nuts.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was bananas. Like the transformation. And it wasn't like, oh, he did P90X and CrossFit. No, he just started eating better and was happier.
Yeah, he wasn't like eating his feelings or eating to deal with stress or shame. Yeah, absolutely, man.
So that's the kind of shit that, you know, and I know it's everybody will say, yeah, it's the parents' fault. I would say that. But also the parents didn't learn that either. And their parents are crazier and more racist and more
absolutely.
Sexist. You know what I mean?
There's a reason social change takes time, right? Like
exactly. Like my grandparents, for example, my grandfather was awesome. He was my grandpa. I loved him, all that good stuff. But he was racist and you know, a fan of like really terrible things. So it's one of those, that's just how he grew up too. Like he's from Spain, and he like worshipped the ground that Franco fucking walked on. And
oh shit, okay, yeah.
Like that, you know? And like when I went to Spain with him, he took me to his grave.
Whoa.
Like, yeah. He was like, you need to see this. I'm like, what? No, I don't.
Yeah. Fuck no, I don't.
But it's nuts. So I feel that they should be teaching sociology in schools so people can learn how to talk. Because the mentality is, fuck it, they'll figure it out. like with relationships, with meeting friends and meeting women and men and meeting, potential partners. Like, nobody knows how to deal with it. And they figure it out eventually, but it'd be cool if there was like a little bit of guidance.
Oh yeah, because I mean, a lot of them might figure it out, before they die, but it's awfully close to when they die that they figure out how much of a piece of shit they've been for the last 68 years or something. Right. They're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been afraid of people that look different than me, or oh, I shouldn't have been, a misogynist or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I've always, my maternal grandfather, who died many years ago, I've always told this story to my students as a way to like sort of inspire them that like you can still affect change. Like, he was old. He was born in the late 20s, early 30s, something like that. And unsurprisingly, for an old white dude in Mississippi, was racist, and and not to the degree that he was constantly spouting off this or that, but like you heard certain words enough, you're like, oh shit, okay. And over the course of my adolescence, I saw my mom and her sisters, like, lovingly but firmly explain to him over and over and over that was wrong, that it was an outdated mindset, that it was based on, racist teachings that he'd gotten at an early age, and so he quit using racial slurs. And one of the, and the way I always wrap this up is I tell my students, and they're like, here's an old racist white man, and one of the last things he did before he died was he voted for Barack Obama. Like, that's awesome. Like that's a thing, and not all old people are going to get there, and that's the way that works. But like, that can happen, but it took a lifetime to get there because of lack of, education primarily, but lack of just experience with other people and a lack of empathy, and like that's stuff that we can actually help instill in school when they're kids. Instead of teaching them how to take multiple choice tests, we can teach them how to be good people and not fuck the world up any more than we already have.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. And I think on that note, that's a perfect way to end the episode. We're at an hour and 5.
This has been Dark Thoughts with Eddie and Ben.
Let's start a new podcast. Dark Thoughts.
It's just us talking about miserable shit for an hour a week.
Yeah, with like Typo Negative playing very low volume the whole time in the background.
We're laughing. Fuck, that might actually be a thing. That might actually work.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Dude, hey, this podcast started by us getting drunk and laughing and joking about it too. So it was, who knows?
Well, hell yeah. Thoughts. Hey, that's the way to do it, man.
And hey, you're gonna have a PhD in this kind of shit and in talking to people and about things.
Yeah, I have a PhD in the science of sadness. Woo! Look out, world! I'm on my way.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah, man.
Well, dude, thank you so much for taking time to talk. And people listening, October 26th, Glacial Tomb. What's the name of the album? Is it a self-titled?
It is indeed self-titled. 7 songs of existential despair wrapped up with blast beats and death growls.
Is it on a label, or are you guys doing like Bandcamp?
It's coming out on Gilead Media. It's the record label that has like Vow and False and Mutilation Rights, Thorn. So yeah, it's coming out CD, LP, digital, and cassette, because I guess people buy tapes for some reason.
Good Lord, man, I have not yet to understand why that is coming back, but whatever.
Hey, me either, but it helps me pay it helps me pay my my electric bill each month. So please keep buying tapes and LPs.
Yes, for sure. Physical media is important. I just don't get the tape thing. I think that get a vinyl or something. God,
I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, I haven't had a tape debt since I sold my 1995 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra more than a few years ago.
It's all the young kids that want to live the nostalgia. It's like we lived through that. I had a little suitcase full of tapes, and they all sucked. They were warped, and it would suck to rewind them with a pencil. Like,
oh my god, bullshit. The pencil thing, dude. I don't miss that at all. Don't miss it at all.
Yeah, man, fuck that. But anyway, yes, pick up their merch. You're gonna have a Bandcamp. Is it on your website?
Yeah. So you can get the album in all its forms will be available through the label. We've got a web store with shirts and that kind of stuff, and we're doing 2 release shows. November 4th in Tucson, Arizona, at Club Congress with Power Trip, and November 9th here in Denver at Lost Lake. That'll be with Call of the Void and a satanic evil bluegrass band called Saddle of Southern Darkness. They're awesome. They rip. it's going to be a really good bill.
I'm going to have to look up Saddle of Southern Darkness. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's rad.
Cool, brother. Yeah, please follow, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. Thanks again, dude.
Hey, cheers. Appreciate it, man.